Awesome. All right, so I want to do a longer video here pretty soon, but had a few minutes before a meeting here in a bit. And I was having a conversation, had a lunch today with a couple of folks that I haven't seen in a long time here in Dominican Republic, which was nice. And one of the parts of the conversation that came up was this whole bet that Balaji is making. Balaji is pretty well known in the Bitcoin space or crypto space, and he did a pretty outrageous bet that Bitcoin will go to $1 million in 90 days. In 90 days, which is pretty nuts. And the interesting thing, though, is just how it could work out for him. So there are a few ways that it could work out beyond that. But basically, mentioned it was going to go to a million. Somebody else on Twitter was like, "Yeah, you're nuts" or whatever. It's like, all right, like I will give you $1 million in 90 days if it doesn't go to a million. So that part is really interesting. I think how he could hedge that is really interesting. It really becomes a win for the guy because so the guy he basically can buy, he's supposed to buy one Bitcoin, and it's a 40x bet. If it he has to, the person that Balaji um, bet, he has to buy one Bitcoin, and Balaji is basically going to give $1 million if it doesn't go to a million. So it's like, wait a minute, what? This is, and then but the other guy, if it does, then he has to give him a million as well. But all the guy has to do is buy two Bitcoin. If he buys two Bitcoin, then if it does go up to a million, then he gives Balaji a million and keeps a million. It's a win-win. It just is a very interesting thing. But I think Balaji's play is a lot bigger because he may have about 100 million. If you've been watching Bitcoin lately, it's gone up quite a bit. Not to say it's pretty viral, but not to say that was a major cause of it. That really led us to a much, much more important conversation. It has nothing to do with that bad or what's going on in crypto. One of the things that I realized in the conversation is I don't think most people know why America is America, why the dollar is the dollar. So I wanted to pop in here and just tell y'all why the dollar is the dollar, because most people don't know. And the group of folks I was with had no idea. And so it's um, really, America was pretty much bankrupt. We had the Depression, we had to, kind of bail ourselves out of that. We had World War I, we had World War II. Then in World War II, what was happening is, as they were conquering the different cities and states and countries, they were taking the gold and basically repatriating it. So everywhere they went, they would just steal everything that was of value. Well, in Europe, they realized, hey, if I want to protect myself, I need to get my stuff out of Europe just in case we don't win this war, whatever, I can escape somewhere. Where can I send it to? Send it to America. And so that's what they did. And so America was just very, very lucky because that is the only reason that the dollar is the dollar. So let me tell you how the dollar became the dollar. So we get all the gold from everywhere, and we give them in exchange basically dollars. Like, hey, we'll give you these dollars whenever you want your gold. Just come on back, and we'll give it to you. So that was what the dollar was. All over the world, the dollar was something that you could exchange for gold. Well, the war ends, we win, and they're like, hey, you can just trade those dollars. You don't need to come back and try to get your gold. Why pay for that ship? You got to get all that stuff back over. You got to take it back. And every once in a while, someone would actually travel to America and get the gold. But at another point, people really wanted gold. Like there was kind of a downturn, and people know in the 70s there was just like major downturn. 60s is where it began, and so people started wanting their gold. And I'm giving y'all a very high level version, but I wanted to do this quick version for some of you with shorter attention spans, and then we'll do a longer one for us kind of economic nerds out there. But I think the sad thing, and this was kind of part of my conversation at lunch, like I think it is a very unfortunate thing to look at the percentage of people's lives. Like you're here on this earth, you're given this magical body that you were just gifted. You don't have any idea where it came from, why you got it, whatever. So you just get this magical thing you're there's this incredible gift, and then you exchange it for these dollars that you don't really know where they came from or why they're important. And so I think just understanding that is something that is if you're going to exchange that much of your life for it, then you should understand where it comes from. So it gets to the point that France is like, you know what, we're gonna go get everybody's gold. So, we're going to send our ships over there and we're going to come back with the gold. Well, what had really happened was they gave out a lot more dollars than they had gold. And this is just the classic thing, if you understand, just every economy and the downfall of economy. So it gets to the point where it's like, oh yeah, we can just print these dollars and nobody's coming back for the gold. So we can just print more of the dollars. And that's how we pulled ourselves out of what was really a bankrupt country at that point. And what ends up happening is France sends over some ships to get them, and when they're in the middle of the ocean, we was like, yeah, nah, we're not doing that no more. You're like, those how we was giving y'all gold for those dollars. Yeah, we stopping that. So y'all might as well turn those ships around and head right back. And but at that point it was kind of like forced. It's like, all right, so much of our dollars are in all these economies. You can let us go to ruin, and then it's going to ruin you too, or we can keep letting this thing roll. And so the importance here and understanding, I think it kind of relating back to when we're looking at these other assets and even looking at private equity and these other things, it's where understanding the economy and the dollar and things internationally, you start to understand like, oh, here's where I should be making plays. So I will do another video on the hedge that Balaji doing and what we can be doing, just because I think that there is a risk of hyperinflation at some point. And I think once you realize that it was just luck, the only reason that America didn't remain this bankrupt country is it's just luck. And so we've been in a state of really bankruptcy since. Now it's just getting really outrageous where they're sending, hundreds of more billions right now to Ukraine. And just to prove that, just 2 trillion now to backstop the banks. It's pretty crazy. And I don't think people are aware of what's going on. And what's happening with the banks just shows that it's out of their control. And so this one is the quick one. There's a lot more to dig into there. And so I look forward to it. We'll be back on soon. Just want to give y'all a primer. Some people, that's all that stuff is boring. Other people know the importance of knowing what's going on in the world. And that was just in the last 50 years. We've only been this kind of powerhouse for the last 50 years, and it's because of literally luck. Like once you understand that our economy is only our economy because of pure luck, it's just luck. We got lucky, and you can only get lucky for so long. So I don't want to hinge all my bets. Like I can't put my financial future in the hands of luck. Have a great rest of y'all's day. Let's make some beautiful things happen. Talk to y'all soon.